Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We finally have an outdoor garden update for you, don't we, Louie? Yeah! So, the no-dig bed is still here, it's still alive, and there's been quite a few additions, as you can see, the pallets and loads of different plants and stuff. So it's been a long time since I've updated you on anything. And basically how I'm going to organize this video is I'm going to give you a little tour about what I have growing just in this little patch, and then I'm going to do a bit of harvesting, and after that I'm going to go through some of the issues and things that I've learned about doing the no-dig bed. I did run into some difficulties and stuff that might be useful to share if you were having similar problems, and just basically an update on how it's all going. Even though the weather isn't great, it's really quite bright outside. It's kind of hurting my eyes a little bit, but I hope that you enjoy the video. Just to let you know as well, if you might recognize this, if you don't, this is Plant Life in the Tropics, Caitlin's Gloriosa merch. And if you don't follow her on YouTube, you should definitely check her out. I'll leave the details here. And yeah, let's get into it. All right, so the first things first, I'll go through what's currently in the bed at the moment. So this is a Cocozelle courgette plant. And yeah, it's recently started putting out quite a few flowers. These are kind of open only in the morning. It's a good bit of pollen in that one. And I think that I'm having issues between pollination between the male and female flowers. Now, I haven't had two flowers at once yet, so maybe that was the issue, but I found the flowers were kind of closing after the morning and then dropping off. So I need to do a bit of research on that. I haven't grown courgette before, so I might come out early in the morning, maybe tomorrow, and see if I can pollinate them myself, if that's the issue. Next up here we have some butterhead lettuce. I have been harvesting and eating from these. There was actually 2 rows of these. These are the only ones that are left. I've eaten all the rest. It's so nice to come out here and just pick fresh lettuce for dinner. It's just absolutely amazing. But yeah, these are the few that are left. The rest have kind of spent and been probably over harvested. There's a nice little slug. Let's move him out of the way. Bye bro, see y'all later. The next row here then is just some crisp head lettuce. I've grown these from seed and started these indoors and then transferred them out. And they've been delicious as well. Quite small leaves, but really, really nice and flavorful. So this section here, there's 2 rows, these 2, of Romanesco cauliflower, and then the rest are purple sprouting broccoli. So let me just check the tags. Well, that's great. Okay, half of this is broken off, but I sowed these indoors on the 12th of May. And yeah, this is how they're doing. When I get into the issues I've been facing, it will make a lot more sense, but I think these have been a little bit stunted in growth, and I've had some issues with these, various issues with these since I planted them out. But I think considering all of that, they're still struggling along. Some of them don't look too bad. We have some healthy new growth, and hopefully they'll start producing soon. Obviously some are doing better than others, but we have had some slugs and caterpillar issues. Well, they're not really issues, but I have had to be kind of on the ball with tackling that. I don't use any pesticides, and I've just been picking them off and cutting off the badly affected leaves and trying to manage it that way. I always expected to lose quite a few to that, as I have tried to grow cauliflower before and things like that, so it doesn't really bother me. I'm not trying to grow to sell food, I'm just doing it out of fun, and hopefully I'll get some vegetables at the end of the day. Sorry, I actually had 3 rows of Romanesco cauliflower and then 2 rows of the purple sprouting broccoli. So yeah, these are doing okay. They're fine. They're the same thing. They're really the same as the cauliflowers. We've had some caterpillar issues, some nutrient issues, some issues with the soil in the no-dig bed. They're still growing, they're still here, and I'm quite happy that that's the way that it's going. So I also grew these from seed and started them indoors, and they were sown on the 1st of May. I do also want to point out, in case it wasn't obvious, that I'm no expert. This is my first kind of experimentation with a lot of these. I have grown a couple of vegetables before, I have grown tomatoes before, and a bit of cauliflower, carrots, things like that, but I haven't done it in a proper, proper organized way, I guess you could say, and this is a huge learning curve for me, and this is not like my final destination and where I'm going to grow vegetables, so I'm kind of using this little plot to learn as much as I can and hopefully not make those mistakes again. But yes, let's continue. All right, so these beans at the back here, I don't have poles long enough for a lot of these, which is great, but I do have one that's quite tall that I just found. So these are Bhutan runner beans that I picked up from Irish Seed Savers. Grew them from seed, started them outdoors. They were really funky looking seeds. If I can find a photo of what they looked like, I will insert it here. So these are quite cool looking for beans. We have some flowers there, and when did I sow these? Let me check. 7th of June 2021. So yeah, they've been doing okay. Some of the beans didn't work out, some of them got eaten by slugs, there's gaps here. These are the remaining few. And yeah, I mean, I hope that they give me something. And with a lot of this garden, I'm trying to save as many seeds as possible, because obviously it's not like huge production or anything. It's not, if I can eat one and save seeds from another, that's enough for me. That's what I'm happy with at this stage. I also, as I explained in my last chatty repot video, don't have a huge amount of time in the summer. And so there's been a lot of issues with this garden. And not having the time to come out here when pests are hitting, or, we have adverse weather, like really hot weather. I've been putting these plants under a lot of stress, and I'm just going to be open and honest about that. Oh, I will say that I have also sown some seeds in 2 rows here and some over here. And these are just different types of spinach, and one of them is an Oriental brassica and leaf radish. So hopefully they will come up and fill these big gaps that are honestly just such a waste of space. Every other time I've really got into gardening, it's been so overgrown and lush and lovely, and this is feeling extremely bare to me. But as I said, if you don't have the time, things aren't going to get done. But yeah, these are 2 different types of spinach as well, which should do well at this time of year. So the rest of the garden. So I've added these pallets here, and I've tried to fill up as many plants as I can. So I guess I'll just go along. These are some dahlias that have been decimated by slugs but are still flowering. I grew these from seed. This is, what's this called again? This is Exicum Sapphire. Beautiful flowers. I picked this up from a garden centre recently. These are some wildflower seeds that I sowed. When did I sow these? Wildflower cottage garden mix, and sowed on the 27th of June. So obviously these haven't started flowering yet. This is a tricolour sage, which is very pretty. Also new, and haven't put that in a pot yet. Honestly love this, and love sage tea. Over here we have some carrots, which I grew from seed and sowed indoors under my Spider Farmer grow light. So if you want to go back and watch my grow light updates, I'll link it in a card. But these were growing really well indoors, and then I transferred them out into grow bags. These are ready to harvest. These are echinacea flowers, some kind of echinacea cultivar that I picked up from a garden centre. I honestly love these. I'd love to have loads more of these. They're so pretty. Where's the tag? Echinacea powwow wild berry. So very pretty. Another grow bag of carrots to be harvested. This is another dahlia grown from seed, but is growing really strangely. It's really trying to get out of the pot. This is a purple one and it hasn't flowered yet. This is the first flower, so it's a bit behind, but the leaves look much healthier than the other ones. So I'm excited to see this bloom. Over here we have another grow bag of carrots that I hope are all doing well. And then we have this beautiful fern that is a recent purchase that I just absolutely adore. The leaves are really soft and beautiful. And this is called the Osmunda arborescens, purple royal fern, and it's gorgeous. And I've just put it here for now. So to the side here we have giant tomatoes all in this bed, which has broken. I was trying to move it and had to call my husband out for help, and he pulled one side and it just came out. Obviously it's untreated wood, but it's fine, it's working away. And we do have some little tomatoes. I'm pretty sure this is quite late in the season, so I don't honestly have a huge amount of hope for this tomato situation. And blight has been an issue. Oh, hey, little shield bug. Hey, bro. You having a nice time on my tomatoes? Yeah, like we have quite a bit of flowers, but it's just a little bit late to get the sun that they need to ripen. I did cut off most of the lower leaves, and any affected leaves that I think could be blight, I've tried to take off, but they're so densely planted that I don't know how that's going to work. It's also growing way above the top of these kind of sticks I had to kind of control it. There is some in there too. But honestly, it smells beautiful. The flowers are so pretty, and it looks very lush and happy. I grew these from seed also, and started them indoors in a little tray, and started them on the 18th of April 2021. I mean, they look great, but I actually don't think I'm really going to get a lot of tomatoes from them. Like, I'll probably have a lot of green ones that maybe I can use in a relish or something, but I highly doubt, with the way our weather is going, that they're going to be turning red for me. Down here, this beautiful purple plant is also a recent purchase and has really interesting flowers that kind of look like confetti. What is this? Loropetalum black pearl. Loropetalum black pearl. Over here we have a grow bag of sweet potato vine, which is really pretty, honestly. And I hope it will give me something to eat. If not, it's okay. It looks beautiful. The flowers are just closing in these. They only seem to open for the first half of the day, but let me show you. This is convolvulus something. I'll check the tag. Really gorgeous flowers. And it's like a vine. I'm going to be collecting these seeds. And it's like a vine that grows up and up and up. I started this from seed indoors. Again, my Spider Farmer 1 month update will show you how big this got indoors. Do I have the tag still? I do not. Oh, I do. Okay. Started this on the 13th of May 2021. And yeah, it's living its best life. So the first kind of palette area is like this. Over here we have another dahlia who hasn't started flowering but grew from seed. Another one that really is not looking so hot, and I don't have a huge amount of hope for this one. I got this as a bulb from a garden centre, and it's not loving its life. This is a houseplant that I decided to put outdoors because I thought it would be great, and it just never really recovered, honestly. It's still trying to grow new leaves. Things are eating it faster than it can produce though. I think this is a cordyline fruticosa. Possibly, that was in my goth houseplants video, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I put it outside. I didn't give it time to really adjust, and it lost a lot of its leaves, and then it just hasn't really recovered since then. Over here we have a grow bag of foxglove seeds, I believe. Yeah, foxgloves. Sowed on the 29th of March, 29th of June 2021. And these will hopefully be good for flowering next year or the year after. But yeah, they're only babies now. Over here we have my lupin, which was so fantastic in flowering. I'm trying to find footage for you of what this did look like. Then we got a big heat wave and I had to leave for work. When I came back, it was not happy. So I actually cut it back and it's growing back, which is pretty impressive, I think, because I really cut it back. Yeah, it looks like this tequila flame, really gorgeous, and the insects love it. This is another convolvulus royal ensign. It's just starting to flower now. This didn't do so great indoors for a long time, so I think it's looking like it's going to flower now, obviously. This is a pot that shouldn't be here. This is full of some onions I harvested recently, some guan onions, which were harvested or started from seed on the 11th of February. And yeah, they were tiny. But honestly, I'm quite pleased that I got anything. So these need to be taken indoors. And I have loads of barge seeds that I collected. I'll show you the plants in a little while. And what else is in there? Some dahlia, small dahlia bulbs, and some nasturtium seeds as well. Then we have this beautiful plant that has just the most amazing little flowers. Look, they're like little mouths. And what is it called? Nemesia Fairy Kisses Pink Lemonade. So it's a Nemesia. It's really pretty. They're so cool looking. Love these little flowers. And this, which also is generally flowering, but it's just been deadheaded. I'll try and find a photo of what it looks like. It's a gerbera. How do you pronounce that? I don't know. I know it's fairly common. They have beautiful, really classic looking flowers. Up here we have a beautiful, dark, deep red banana plant, which I just love. I love these leaves so much. Really pretty. It's doing quite well for me. What's it called? Ensete Morelli. Anyway, really gorgeous. Here is some, oops, should not be flowering. This is actually like a Syrian oregano, which is fairly close to Lebanese oregano, and I use this quite often, but obviously I was not cutting in the right place. It smells really yummy. These are some chilies which I have no right in having. We do not have the weather for these. I do not have a greenhouse, and they will probably all slowly die. In all honesty, I don't know what I was doing when I got this. It's not enjoying this super wet weather without any sun. Here is my avocado plant, which you may have seen indoors previously on my channel, which I decided to put outside. Jerry here on YouTube has an outdoor avocado that just looks fantastic. And I had never thought to put mine outside because of our weather, but I think it was probably a great idea. Of course, I didn't let it have time to adjust, and then something was eating the leaves, the new leaves, although it's really starting to push them out now, so I'm hoping that will go well. I don't think this likes how wet it is either, but yeah, we're seeing how it does. Here beside my dog who's eating the grass, we have a eucalyptus gunnii tree, which is also a new purchase of mine. I've wanted one of these for ages. Can't wait to take some of this off and use it in the shower or something. It's also a really gorgeous plant, so I'll give that a new pot soon. Here is my nasturtium, which looks fine now, but is honestly quite a sad story in my opinion, because it was doing so fantastically well. Again, I started this indoors. You'll see it in the Spider Farmer updates video. Yeah, it was doing so well. Then of course, again, I left for a while and it was overpouring out of the pot, and it was all touching the ground and it was all mushy and gross. So again, I cut it back, and it honestly regrows so easily, this plant. It will easily regrow quite fast. You can eat these, you can eat the flowers and the leaves, and they have kind of a peppery taste. They're quite nice, and the flowers are beautiful. and insects seem to love them. This is a really red one. Actually, right over here I have a variegated one, which is currently being eaten by slugs. But it's quite cute, grows way less fast, obviously with less chlorophyll, but flowers are also quite pretty. I'm collecting seeds from these and I have no idea if they'll be variegated or not. If it carries through, I'm not sure. But yeah, very pretty. So this is the second palette, which honestly I prefer because it looks a good bit more full compared to the other one. But yes, so what we have here, we have some borage plants, borage, I don't know. I've actually never heard somebody say it, I don't think. So really pretty flowers, and I'm just collecting the seeds of this year and see if I can do anything with them. This one I grew from seed indoors and then moved outdoors. No, I grew from seed outdoors, starting outdoors. And is there any that have seeds right now? Yeah, there's some in there starting. Really pretty, insects like them. And then this one I actually bought as well. I don't know why I did that, that was pointless. But yeah, beautiful collecting. There's a little hoverfly now. You gonna pollinate them for me? Thank you so much. Over here we have a type of oxalis triangularis something, I'm presuming, don't actually know. The flowers are back here, very pretty. This one just got a new pot and it was way too pot bound and kept drying out, which is why some of the leaves are a bit yellow, but it should be fine now. This is like some kind of blue grass, Festuca glauca, intense blue. It's absolutely beautiful, I love it. It's really cool. And this one, let me show you the flowers of these, really pretty. Huertia, how do you pronounce it again? Huchera, huckleberry. Indian summer, I think, is the cultivar name. Very pretty, love it. Up here we have this Mexican feathergrass, which I really love and think it's absolutely beautiful. And I think I want more grasses. It's just so gorgeous, I think. What's the actual name of it? Stipa tenusima, ponytails or something. Yeah, and it's really nice. It makes it like, it adds a nice tall thing. So this is a type of heather, Kaluna. It's like Irish heather. I honestly love it. I think it's so pretty. And you can see a lot of this in our uplands and stuff. And yeah, native plant. I'm not sure if this is the exact native plant or if it's a cultivar of the same genus, but yeah, it's very pretty. This is, I'm sure you all know, Oxalis triangularis. Really pretty flowers. And yeah, I've never had one of these before. It's not going to survive winter, so a lot of these plants won't, I don't think. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that, but it's really pretty. And at night the leaves fold back, kind of like Geopertia or Calatheas do. Calatheas, they fold their leaves back. They kind of go up and down. It's quite cool. This is a beautiful fern, Dryopteris, I think, and or maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, it's really pretty, and I love it, and I love ferns. So that is it. Let me show you. Let me step back and show you. So that is what the current garden is. Definitely not as full as I want it to be. It's not what I had in my head. It's not it's a garden that's not really planned and hasn't spent a huge amount of time in it all summer. So it's just little bits here and there. That's all I can really manage with everything going on. So yeah, but I'm really happy to have it, honestly. It's a really cute little space. So right, so let's harvest some carrots. I'm quite nervous. I hope they all look great. Let's lift up. So we have a big bag of old carrots, you see? And I've been growing them in a grow bag. So yeah, let's see what these look like. I've already gotten so much soil under my nails that there's no point in even wearing gloves now. So yes, let's take this one. Okay, and let's see how we do. Oh, that's a perfect carrot. It's a slightly smaller one. This one had a little baby. Okay, I have a feeling this one's gonna be big, okay? You ready? Whoa! Yeah! It's so big. Whoa! Okay. This is another good one. Looks freaking fantastic. Wow, wow, wow. This is so cool. Now I feel like I need to grow like 50,000 carrots next year. Like 3 grow bags was not enough for me. I eat a lot of carrots, so I really enjoy them. So this is looking great. I'm just gonna keep pulling here. I mean, could I have left them a bit longer? Maybe. What is this guy doing? But you know, I'm pretty sure they were ready, most of them anyway. Why did they start turning up? Does anybody know? Why did a lot of them have done this? They've started turning upwards again. And they're not at the bottom of the grow bag, so they're not running out of space. I wonder why that is. Interesting. But yeah, so that's that one done, isn't it? Yeah. And let's try this one. There's quite a few in this, I think. Oh, some of them have gotten eaten a bit. I didn't cover these. I know you're meant to. I didn't cover these from carrot root fly or anything, but damage hasn't been bad. Like, oops. They're so funky looking. Whoa, it's a big boy. These are like pretty substantial carrots, guys. I didn't actually expect them to be that big. I keep breaking them. This is so exciting. This is like the most substantial harvest, I guess, that I've had from this garden. Well, apart from the daily lettuce. If I took all of the lettuce together, it might be different now. A lot of these have been damaged. Can you see that? I guess that's that root fly and that as well. I'll put them to the side, but most of them are good. All right, so out of 3 grow bags, 3 fairly small grow bags, I got all of this, which I actually am quite impressed by. Now they're small compared to most, but like they're perfect. They're really, really, really great. Some of them are damaged, but most are not. Put the damaged ones aside. But yeah, I'm so happy about that. Which is the biggest one? This is quite big. This one's also quite big. Yeah, I'm really, really, really happy with this. And honestly, they were so easy to take care of. Started them indoors, moved them out to the grow bags, and just kept them watered. That was it. I probably should have covered them, as I said, but I didn't, and it was fine. So yeah, I'm really excited to eat these. So issue number 1 that I had with the no-dig bed, I had transplanted some quite a few dahlia seeds that I had, or little seedlings that I had grown indoors, and they just didn't take off. They just seemed really, really unhappy, and honestly, they didn't go anywhere until they just slowly got eaten away. Now, I don't think that was a pest issue. I actually think that The thing is that I made this no-dig bed earlier on this year, so I'll link the video where I kind of made the bed. I think typically you're meant to leave the bed a much longer time for it to kind of starve out the weeds and stuff. So I do believe that the grass underneath was trying to grow up and it wasn't fully dead yet, and that kind of took away a lot of the space for the dahlia roots to kind of penetrate and go in, and I think they just had no space to grow. On top of that, in one of my update videos, I added a lot of new soil on the top. So in that last video, I did explain how I had just put like organic compost down, a couple of bags of organic compost, which was just way too wet and held on to so much moisture. That was really affecting the plants. So I did add a much kind of a barky, perlite-y mix on top, and that seemed to do the job quite well, but I still had lasting effects of that thick, dense compost that I had laid down. And those lasting effects were, I had like a total kind of, I don't even know what they were, but they looked like fungus gnats, and they just took over the bed. They were eating everything, they were just everywhere, everything was gross. I didn't want to pick any lettuce from the garden. It was just a major, major issue. So I think that they were laying their eggs in the soil and they were feeding on the plants, and there were so many of them that it really was just chipping away at foliage, and it was really, really upsetting. I actually considered just giving up and just saying, F this bed, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna let everything die. I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna do anything. So I did that for a couple of days. And then what I did was I made a mix of just your typical insecticidal soap and neem oil and water, and I sprayed everything. I sprayed the top of the soil, I sprayed the plants themselves, and I repeated that over around 2 weeks, maybe every 2 days I was doing that, which was a lot, and that seemed to do the trick, thank God, because they all left and the plants recovered from that. Also, I think I was quite late in feeding the plants in terms of time-wise. I should have fed them much earlier. I kind of put a lot of reliance on how much nutrients there was in the soil. Now, that's just my interpretation of what my plants were doing, because after I fed them then there was a big burst in growth. So I think they really wanted that. What are the things? You saw in my last update video that I did cover the edges again with cardboard and put kind of grass clippings on top, just kind of make it look a bit nice, I've just left that. Now obviously the cardboard does kind of break up over time, and I have kind of bits like this everywhere, but that doesn't really bother me. The only thing is that now I've grown in raised wooden beds before, and I found that the level of slugs and things that hide in the wood and then come out at night is so much higher that I've actually had, now I still have slug issues. I think if I live here I'm just going to. If you live in a very wet country it's a big issue. But I think actually not having the wooden sides has meant that the slug population is much, much less. I also try to keep any dead foliage and rotting stuff off the top of the soil, so it gives them less places to hide. When I'm picking the lettuce and stuff like that, I will inspect for slugs like you saw and just pull them off as I see them. What other issues with bed? I feel like for my next beds, which I may do elsewhere, we're going to be hopefully building a house, so I might try and start the vegetable situation over there. Ooh, this fell off and scared the fucking shit out of me. So yes, we're hopefully building a house, and I do want to start obviously growing vegetables over there, and I think I will do no-dig beds, as I really like the idea, but I think the key is to start like in the middle of winter or at the beginning of winter. Hi, would you help me film the video? So yes, I think I would start that just way earlier and put much more emphasis in time to either use cardboard or tarp to starve out the weeds before you actually start planting. I just think my plants were really stunted in growth, and you know, a lot of these are way further behind than other people's, even though I didn't start them super late in my opinion. And I think that's a huge reason why. Yeah, so I think the combination of having the really dense compost and the grass underneath trying to come through, and maybe too late with starting fertilizing and stuff. I think they just suffered. They're not doing so fantastic. You know, a lot of things haven't started producing yet. You know, they've had a really bad start, and even considering all of the issues that I have seen this year, I think they're doing pretty good, honestly. So I'm fine with what's going on, and I've learned so much as well. But I really like this method of gardening. I do think that I probably would like sides on the beds, but I don't know if I'd want to use wood, just for fear of slugs finding their way in and using that as a kind of a shelter. So I don't really know what I do in the future, but I would like a kind of a neater edge maybe. But I do actually like using the grow bags as kind of an edge, so maybe I just need more plants. So yeah, they're kind of the main issues. If you have any questions, let me know down below, and I'll obviously get to them as soon as I can. And yeah, other than that, like, it's been pretty enjoyable. It's pretty nice to kind of potter around and see how things are doing. I would also, I guess, if you're not spending more time to starve out the weeds before you plant, you'd want just a higher level of soil, which obviously there's cost involved in that. But yeah, that's kind of it. In terms of weeding, there isn't really that much. Like, every now and again I'll just see little sprigs of grass and I'll just pull them out. It's really not that much, to be honest. It's quite easy to keep on top of, as long as you don't let it get out of control. But I haven't. I've found that quite easy. So that's kind of it. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and this little tour and update on what's going on outside. And yeah, I hope you're all doing super well. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.